Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Snake's Revenge. In the last part, we got through some of the last side-scrolling sections, and now we're being in an area where people are trying to claymore me to death. This seems incredulously familiar. Though this area is pretty easy, just running through and you should make it through. With minimal hits, you'll probably get hit by a couple of claymores, but other than that, these statues that shoot missiles out of what seems to be their groin are no major threat. That door right there, by the way, I think it's like a card key 6 door, has technically the last prisoner in the game in it, I believe, as far as I can recall off the top of my head. Though it is another one of the suicide bombers, so be careful. Also, be careful in this room, because it's another gas room with more boxes, block ship to destroy, which I really don't like that design mentality. That's just making me take damage, meaning I have to either farm up more rations later or just go with what I have. Though I'll give it this, it's effective security at least. It's annoying to me, but it's good for them. That actually sounds like a lot of Metal Gear stuff. Because Metal Gear security, while it gets stupid at times, it can be surprisingly effective in a realistic setting. I say this as if it's actually real, but you know what I mean. And that's me accidentally going through some menus the wrong way. Anyway, take the left path because it's a lot better for you to take it. Just take my word on that. And here you got some ammo and some claymores you can restock on. I recommend you max out your supply on either. Though I suppose you don't need claymores. What you really need is in this next room. Max out your supply of landmines. You want to do this. And that's... Imagine me saying that in text, but it's all bolded, if you really want to do that. Either way, we want to get out this elevator and head up to the next floor. And don't get ahead of myself like I usually do. Don't head up to the top floor. You want to head up to the second to last floor. Or second to last floor works in that instance, I think. Because there are some last minute items we need in this floor. If you don't get them now, you likely will not be able to beat the game. And hey, a transceiver call. Lieutenant, it was careless of me. Nick? Nick, did you screw up again? I think Nick screwed up again. Either way, with that out of our way, let's head into some doors, because we need items. Especially the one in this door, actually, now that I think about it, because in here we got a smoke bomb. I think this is actually supposed to be like some sort of signal flare, but, yeah, well. Yeah, I think I mentioned last part I was actually playing Final Fantasy X a lot recently. I'm doing this just because there's not really much else to talk about at the moment. I'm still grinding out my sphere levels. I'm at the point where I almost have all my stats maxed out. Luck and magic are the only ones I don't, and I'm working on that at the moment, don't get me wrong. But grinding magic and luck spheres is the worst part of the game. Because magic spheres you have to get it from the jumbo flans, which are annoying, and don't even get me started on Greater Sphere and the Earth Eater. Ugh. Either way, you're going to want to max out your supply of remote-controlled missiles. You don't technically need to do that either, but I recommend you do it because human error is a thing later on. Anyway, let's enter this door. Oh! Hey! Key card number 8. Sweet! Oh, and some dying guy. We have discovered that Jennifer is a spy. A life support system is in Big Boss's room? Lead him out, then attack. By the way, that was Nick. Nick's dead. And also apparently a statue. Also, did he just say Big Boss? Nah, there's no way. We blew him up last game. It's impossible. Either way, let's head up to the final floor of this area. And when I say final floor, I do mean final. This is actually the location of the final boss. Yeah, weirdly enough, even though this game is longer than both of the Metal Gear 1s, its ending is a bit more anticlimactic. Mind you, the final base area is at least a bit more challenging than Metal Gear 1's. And oh god, robots! These guys suck. Don't let them touch you, or shoot you. Though it's probably unavoidable due to their surprisingly good aiming. Keep in mind this room for later, by the way. You want to know this room. Anyway, this is a bit of a weird maze area. You can only enter certain doors. And specifically, you can enter that with key card 3, the one at the very top there with key card 4. And then this next room, the one in the middle with key card 5. I don't know why they did that, but it's the way it is. Also, take my word for it. Get your health up. You're gonna want it. This is Big Boss. You destroyed Metal Gear 1 and made me a cyborg. Now I want revenge. So how did you survive us blowing you up in the last game? Not gonna answer me? Okay. Big Boss is a very easy boss. He keeps on firing at you, but if you keep up your healing, you can actually just mash the A button in front of him and get all the bullets you need into him. It takes around 50 to 60 to kill him, but honestly, he is very, very, very easy. I don't know what happened, because he was the hardest boss in 1, and he's dead! Or... what? Oh, that's right, Cyborg. Ha! 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 I have no weak point. You can penetrate. Watch out for him, by the way. He hurts when he touches you quite a bit. Anyway, true final boss of the game is Cyborg Big Boss. And like Nick said in his dying words, his room has a life support system, so we want to get to a much bigger area. He'll keep on following you through these various rooms, but we want to get to the room I mentioned earlier, the far right of this next one. And you might remember not a guard said this. Last part in one room, we used a hidden mic to learn something about the commander of this base, which as we now know is Big Boss. And that was that the only weak point on his body is his heels. So, get out the landmines. I actually didn't max out my supply, but I got close. And the boss is more or less becomes a bit of a refight against the tank, though you can't actually, he has to actually walk onto the mines. You can't just plant him at his feet and let him explode like you could with the, tank. He actually does need to walk into them this time around. And honestly, he's the final boss for a reason. He is hard, and his fire not only does it do decent damage, but its spread is annoying. And that's kind of sad that this is more climactic of a final boss than the gunfight in Metal Gear 1. Though I have to admit, this is this is kind of stupid. Cyborg boss. I mean, mind you, in a world where we have giant nuclear-equipped walking battle tanks, nothing is too implausible, I suppose, considering this was supposed to take place in, like, the 90s or so. Which, mind you, at the time of development was the 80s, so they had high hopes for the 90s. Oh, those poor guys. But, honestly, this is... Metal Gear's had some stupid twists. This is probably one of the stupidest. And he's dead! Warning! Metal Gear 2 is operable. Personnel are to go to the underground shelter. And now, like we have in the previous 2 games, we got a countdown timer. This time not for a self-destruct sequence, but until, well, actually no, more or less a self-destruct sequence, because Metal Gear 2 is gonna launch out and start its nuclear holocaust. So we might want to stop that. Anyway, in order to get to Metal Gear 2, which is actually a fairly short walk, we actually had to head back to where we met Big Boss first. Because you may have noticed, it was pretty hard to notice actually, because you were probably paying attention to the boss fight, but there's a door on the right there we can enter. Oh. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks, Snake. You can go into the secret plant from this door. Well, that is mighty damn convenient. Actually, why would the command... Well, I suppose it makes some amount of sense the commander would have an ease of access into the secret area, but... out in the open like this? That's kind of counterproductive. Anyway, unlike other gondola rides, but yeah, I finally remember the word I want these things were called in between parts. We need to head up to here. Snake, follow Jennifer's instructions on entering secret plant. Use copter missiles to blow up the wall to enter. The spot is marked by a flare. You must not fail. That was pretty shittily explained what he said there, but pretty much use the smoke bomb, the copter missiles will blow up that door that we can't open otherwise, because I think it's technically locked by a level 9 keycard or something. Warning! The first attack points are New York, Tokyo, and Moscow. You see, New York and Moscow I can understand because they're nuclear armed nations, so they can cause some sort of equal war going on if they suspect anyone else. But why Tokyo? Also, I mean, this is actually me thinking ahead a bit. What you're actually supposed to do here is use keycard 7, but for some reason, I was thinking it was keycard 8. I was thinking ahead a door. And before we get to Metal Gear 2, there's a bit of a maze for some reason. It's a fairly simple one. Just go up north through the left way, then follow the path and take the left northern path. And then you're more or less there. This is the door that needs keycard 8. I was thinking ahead a bit there. Which has happened a fair amount, I'll admit. Anyway, get the remote-controlled missiles out. And let's finally see a Metal Gear. Well, not finally see a Metal Gear. Finally see a Metal Gear in this game, because we saw Metal Gear and Metal Gear MSX. Yeah, weirdly enough, it took them until the sequel, that is non-canon, by the way, in the American games, to actually show a Metal Gear. But it doesn't really do much. This is more a puzzle of time than anything. You have to make the remote-controlled missiles hit its yellow flashing point. And these doors, which are here for some reason, are really annoying because they like to get in the path of your missiles. It's very simple, though, like 12, I want to say, missiles. I'm not sure the even exact amount. I go through over half of them because of these damn doors. It dies pretty anticlimactically. Well, not dies, more like gets destroyed. But yeah, this is Metal Gear in all of its brilliance, I suppose. You know, I'm thinking about it. For being some sort of big threat, we've never really seen these things do much in these games, have we? Metal Gear 1 MSX, all it did was just kind of stand there while 2 cameras tried to kill us when we were C4ing its feet. Metal Gear 1 NES, we didn't even get to see the damn thing. Snake's Revenge, we finally get to see one in the NES games, but it doesn't do anything. Man, these things aren't too threatening. Huh. Oh, and don't worry about the timer. They give you more than enough time in order to kill the damn thing. Though, in my opinion, it takes a few too many missiles, given the timing of it all. Mind you, it makes sense that a nuclear-equipped battle tank would be pretty... hey, it's destroyed! Well, part of it is. That doesn't look very destroyed. After the completion of Operation 747, the UN declared World Peace Day. Oh god, that's stupid. John Turner was listed as missing in action and removed from Navy records. Yeah, we never found out what happened to him, did we? Nick Meyer was promoted 3 mechs after dying while in Foxhound. And pretty anticlimactically, as it has been with the previous 2 games, that was Metal Gear. Or not Metal Gear. That was Snake's Revenge Metal Gear 2 for the NES. And how is it? Well, out of the early Metal Gear games, it's definitely the black sheep, because it's the only one to not have any influence from Kojima at all, because at least the NES version of Metal Gear was based off one of his games. But also the side-scrolling sections just make it feel kind of different. And mind you, those are the worst part of the game. The main stealth stuff isn't that bad, honestly. It's actually pretty fun. The boss fights can be kind of frustrating, but the main source of bad stuff this game has is the side-scrolling. They're not well designed, they're really cheaply difficult. And it's just not fun to play through those sections. Beyond that, the only really bad thing I have to say about the game is why the hell is Snake wearing red when he's supposed to be on a sneaking mission? Also, why does he look a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger meets the Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think? Or is that young Mel Gibson? I can't tell. Either way, with that, next up is Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake on the MSX2. By the way, this is available only on the NES as far as I can recall. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys then for the best out of the 8-bit Metal Gears. Yeah, see you guys then. That was kind of weirdly phrased in my point. I suck at this. See you guys then.